Coba cek tanya apa masuk tak? Okay, 3 jam. Okay. Okay.
So now can see my screen or not?
Unfortunately, no. Or is it just me who cannot see Dr. Ummi's slide? Dewi, can you see?
I cannot see the slides yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, wait.
Share screen. Okay. Balik kat sini. Sini. Share aja. Share. Okay.
So how about now?
Yeah, finally.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
I rarely use this Zoom application.
Yeah,
We go for Google Meet most of the time, so the icon is hidden somewhere. I need to find.
Okay. No, but it's good now. It works. Okay. Master of Ceremony, I think we're good to go, right?
Okay, ma'am, we start by playing the video first. Yeah?
Business Management established in 2011 as one of bachelor programs at Institut Teknologi 10 November, Surabaya. Our department became part of Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business. Business Management ITS is a unique management major who combines management science with ITS identity as an engineering campus. Students will gain technical skills and soft skills to prepare themselves as future business leaders. There are 4 major concentrations in business management of ITS, which are Operation Management and Business Analytics, Marketing and Entrepreneurship, Human Resource Management, and also Accounting and Finance. To familiarize students with real business conditions, our department offers some project-based courses such as design thinking, new venture creation, socialpreneurship, business consulting project, internship, and many others. Business Management ITS offers International Undergraduate Program or IUP for both Indonesian and foreign students. Students will get lectures fully in English and greater opportunities to take part in international exposure activities. Our department also offers double degree programs. These particular programs are held in collaboration with the University of Queensland and Wren School of Business. Students will study at ITS and partner universities to get 2 undergraduate degrees. We provide students the opportunities to take international mobility activities such as excursion studies, exchange programs, short course programs, international internships, and many others. Our department will warmly welcome foreign students to experience these international exposure opportunities. To support those activities, Business Management ITS has several international partners. There are 2 laboratories to promote researches at Business Management ITS, which are Business Analytics and Strategy Laboratory and Entrepreneurship and Small Medium Enterprise Laboratory. Business Analytics and Strategy Laboratory, or the BAS Laboratory, focuses on operation management, strategic management, finance, and accounting. There are 10 lecturers and researchers associated with the BAS Laboratory. Business Analytics and Strategy Laboratory have several assistants to support its day-to-day operations. Entrepreneurship and Small Medium Enterprise Laboratory, or the ESME Laboratory, focuses on marketing, entrepreneurship, human resource management, performance measurement, and data envelope analysis. There are 9 lecturers and researchers associated with the ESME Laboratory. The Entrepreneurship and Small Medium Enterprise Laboratory, also supported by several assistants to carry out the laboratory programs. Our department have more than 500 alumni. They work at different fields and industries such as national and multinational companies, government, or even became an entrepreneur.
Let's join Business Management ITS and be the future business leader.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our Zoom meeting this afternoon. And before we start our event today, please let me share the protocols of video conference. First, please kindly adjust your name or ID screen using the format your name, underscore, department, or public. Second, during the video conference, we kindly ask all the participants to turn off the audio and only turn it on when the MC or the moderator gives the suggestion. Third, we would like to recommend all participants to adjust the seat position comfortably and prevent the backlight effect. Fourth, please ensure your network has a stable internet connection for your convenience during the event. And last but not least, we recommend all participants to use a headset or earphone for clear and better sound. In addition, we kindly ask all participants to fill the online attendance list through the link that will be provided in the chat room during the session. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, a very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the International Guest Lecture Series, wherein the topic for today's lecture, Job Analysis and Design, HR Planning, Recruitment and Selection. And may the blessing of the Almighty God be with us. My name is Sausan from Department of Business Management, will be the MC for today. And before we go into the main event, I would like to invite one of our lecturer, Ibu Sharifah Hanum, to join us and lead today's agenda. Assalamualaikum Ibu Sharifah Hanum.
Waalaikumsalam, Sausan. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
So may I take over from now on?
Time and place is yours, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharifah Hanum. I will be moderator of today's lectures. But before we begin, please allow me to briefly introduce you about our program of International Undergraduate Program in Business Management at ITS Surabaya. We are running with 4 majors: Operation Management and Business Analytics, Marketing Management and Entrepreneurship, Human Resources Management, and Accounting and Finance. There are 2 options of double degree programs that we are currently over for our students. One is a double degree with Rennes School of Business France, and the other one is a double degree program with University of Queensland, Australia. Along with these 2 double degree programs, students can undertake international mobility into dozens of our international university partners that spread out all over the world, including one university in Malaysia, Perlis, that become one of our partner, which Dr. Ummi, our today's lecturer, came from. One of our program in the department is conducting annual international guest lecture series, and today's lecture would be with the topic Job Analysis and Design, Human Resource Planning, Recruitment and Selection by Dr. Ummi Naiemah Saraih from Universiti Malaysia, Perlis, UniMAP. This lecture is attended by students from this department, especially who take human resource management courses. And also some of students from our local university is joining, including from Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Hello everyone, thank you for participating. If any of lecturer from UNESA would like to say a word, please kindly drop a message in the chat room so I can let you greet our guest speaker, and also anything you like to say in this very moment. Before I hand over the microphone to our speaker, I'd like to introduce a bit about Dr. Ummi. So I like to check where the CV of Dr. Ummi is. Okay, it's I haven't prepared it. Maybe someone can help me, or maybe later Dr. Ummi can introduce herself. That I think that's gonna be a great idea, right? Because yeah, I just know her, so maybe I don't know her quite much. So without further ado, please, Dr. Ummi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss MC, Miss Susan, Mbak Susan maybe, and my respective Dr. Sharifah Hanum as the head of Department of Business in Institute Teknologi 10 November ITS. Okay, so I am Ummi Naiemah binti Saraih. Okay, I am attached with the School of Innovation in Innovation and Technopreneurship, Innovation Business and Technopreneurship since 2015. And before 2015, actually, I am the administrative officer in my university since 2002. So actually, this is my 5 year to engage with the academician task in my university. Okay, so I think not much to be tell about myself because my intention is more to go for our today's international guest lecture series in HRM. Actually, my degree, bachelor degree is human resource management. But when I did my master and PhD, my passion go more on the organizational behavior. So I think both of these domain actually is very closely related. And as for today, I would like to share some of the maybe information sharing session regarding HRM, particularly in the domain of job analysis, job recruitment, selection, HR planning, which is have a very close integration between one another. I think that's all for myself. Is it okay, Prof? Or you want to know further?
Thank you, Dr. Ummi.
I am married.
Yeah, that's a
married.
perfect introduction. You can proceed with the lecture. Maybe you have like 60 minutes or at most, and then we can go on with Q&A. Yeah,
Okay.
and sorry for the audience. If you have something to ask or to discuss, just drop message in the chat room. I will go through it later in the next session. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Do you manage to share your screen, Doctor?
Okay, a moment.
Sure.
Okay, is it okay now?
It's coming, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Visible.
So shall I go? All
Yes,
right.
please.
Okay.
It is yours.
First and foremost, thank you for all of the participant who are able to join our session today, and also thank you very much to both of the top management in ITS and UniMAP to allow me in giving a little bit information or maybe knowledge, just a little about HRM, especially by focusing on job analysis and design, HRP, HR recruitment and selection. Maybe, as you all know, actually this title has been combined. Actually, we can talk about analysis and design in one day, HR planning in one day, and recruitment also, and selection also in another day. But actually, I just would like to give some brief information on how job analysis, design, HR planning, recruitment, and selection are intercorrelated between one another, and we are going to look on the linkages at the whole concept before actually we have another HRM function, right, such as compensation and so forth. Maybe one can be covered by Prof. Sharifah later. Okay, now actually this is the outline. Wait. This is the lecture outline for today's presentation. We will go section by section, start with introduction, and then we will focus on some of the important terminology that closely related to HR management, such as stated in this lecture outline. So here is the introduction part, all right? So human resource management, HRM, or simply HR, is the term commonly used to describe all those organizational activities concerned with HR planning, recruitment, selection, training and development, performance appraisal, compensation, and so forth. And as we notice, based on several kind of reading, we have several scholars of HR, and normally they tend to categorize the HRM function into several activities, right? So maybe another scholar, they only focus on 6 domain or function of HR. Another scholar, they focus on another function. And lately, they also include talent management as one of the function of HR management. And as for today, we are going to the conversational domain or function in HR management by including only the basic function of HR. So what important is in HR, we are trying to manage people or human resources in the organization. Okay. And here we go to the first job analysis, a subsection on our discussion today. Before we know
Doctor?
further, yeah.
Dr. Ummi, sorry to interrupt. Is it possible to slideshow?
Okay, it's okay. Okay, I put it in slideshow. Sorry,
Yeah, because it's too small.
just small. Okay, I put it in slideshow view. Okay, now it is better.
Yeah, perfect. It's much better now. Thank you.
All right. Okay, now we go to the. All right, we go to the first slide. Okay. Okay, before we know further about this job analysis, how to conduct a job analysis, first and foremost, we need to know what are referred to the job and position. Okay, the job is consists of a group of tasks that must be performed for an organization to achieve its goals. Okay, before we go further, this kind of human resource management is being done to only increase the performance of the organization or the productivity of the organization. So we need to manage well and blend well of the HR manager, HR management, meaning that we need to manage the people in several terms in order to achieve the organizational goals toward increasing the level of productivity and performance. Whereas position is the collection of tasks and responsibility performed by one person. Okay, so in conducting job analysis, sorry, boleh tak kita nak hide ni? In conducting job analysis, actually job analysis is the basic before we are going to, kita nak bang ni semua. Job analysis is the basic tool before we can further manage our human resource in an organization. And JD is job analysis can be referred into producing or developing two important outcome, which are job description and job specification. A moment please, I would like to hide this.
Okay, pilih kat atas ni. Ataupun pilih kat kecil ni. Settle.
Okay. Okay, now, okay. Job analysis is conducted in order to produce a job description and job specification, okay, which are very important and be the basis in organizing or managing another HRM function. So job analysis can be referred as the systematic process of determining the tasks, duties, and responsibilities needed for a particular job, and at the same time identifying the specific knowledge, skill, and abilities required for performing the job in an organization. Actually, if you look at this definition, job analysis is the process of determining what is JD, okay, job description, and also what is JS or job specification that is required for that particular person to fulfill in an organization. So job analysis provide information of organization which help to determine which employees are best fit for specific job. So HR managers use the information to develop JD and JS. They are the basis for employee recruitment, selection, T&D, and another function of HRM. So the ultimate purpose of job analysis is to improve organizational performance in the term of organization and at the same time to increase the productivity. Okay, here is the reason why we need to conduct job analysis. As I mentioned just now, job analysis is the process of producing or develop the JD and JS. If you look at this graph, actually, JD consists of tasks, responsibilities, and duties. Meanwhile, job specification is include of KSA or knowledge, skills, and abilities. And the combination of both job description and job specification are very crucial in helping HR manager to manage another HRM function, other HRM functions such as HR planning, recruitment, selection, which will be touched in today's lecture. Another function of HRM, as stated starting from training and development, performance appraisal, and so forth, also are very crucial to be managed based on the job analysis. Okay, even though we look at tasks, responsibility and duties under job description is quite nearby and the definition quite similar, but there are differentiation between one to other. Okay, and also knowledge, skill and abilities also refer to another criteria that actually are different, which I will try to explain in the later slide. So let we move to this slide, relationship of job requirement and other HRM function. Okay, now I just would like to give you an example. Just now, I mentioned that HR functions is about the same, but according to several scholars, it refers to several domains. And in my presentation today, I would like to grab your attention to only focus on HRM into these 6 major functions. For the first one, staffing, they are very close to the process of recruitment and selection. So job analysis provide information about what the job is all about, which is JD, and what human characteristics are required to perform these activities, which refer to the JS or job specification. So this information in the form of JD and JS help management decide what kind of people to recruit. So this is how the job analysis is related or associated with the first function of HRM, which is staffing. Okay, the next one, training and development. JA or job analysis also become the basis in determining the training needs and develop instructional program. So JD shows the activities and skill, and therefore the training can be conducted to match with the job requirement. And so do with the performance appraisal. All right. So JD and JS is the information that we need to go before we provide any performance criteria for evaluating employees. There, a performance appraisal compare employees' actual performance and their performance standard. So in performance appraisal, normally most of the managers or HR officer, they have the expected performance of employee. Therefore, they need to look back in the performance appraisal whether the staff have fulfilled or not the required of the listed tasks as they listed under their job description or job specification. So managers use job analysis, JA, to determine the job specific activities and performance standards. So the next also, how JA is related to compensation, safety and health, and also employee and labor relation. Okay, I think this is also, for example, for compensation, JA provide basis for determining employees' rate of pay. For example, what kind of responsibility we have placed with task number A. So is the pay are equal to the tasks, duties, and responsibility that we appoint to that one particular employee. So this is how JA, which include of JD and JS, are the basis in determining the compensation for the employee. And also it can be related to the safety and health. So based on JA, we can have specific information regarding those who are working in the hazardous position with proper safety policy to be followed. And the last one, how JA can be related to the employee and labor relation is when the dispute may be occur between employee and employers or organization. So we can look back on the document of JA in order to look whether this kind of tasks have been listed under the responsibility of that employee or not before we can take further action into engaging in any of employee and labor relation. So now let me share about the example to give you more understanding on how JD and JS are different. So this is the example of JD and JS for business administrator. If you look the statement under job description, okay, for example, represent the company to clients and at meeting, conference, and sales negotiation. So business administrator work with finance and accounting to eliminate waste and enhance productivity of each function. So Another one, communicate with every department regularly to handle problems, identify new opportunities, and build trust and transparency. If you look at all of the statement and the job description or JD, it listed on the task. Okay, so it related to the task itself. Whereas if you look at the element or statement and the job specification, for example, for business administrator, the specification or the requirement for the person to be the business administrator can be proficiency with purchase order management, expense management, and travel and meeting coordination, excellent maths and computer skill, and detailed planning and time management skill. So if you look at this, under job specification, it go more on the person. But for job description, it go on the details, item which relate to the job, to the task. Okay, so now let me share another JD and JS for human resource officer, just to make you can differentiate between JD and JS. So we look for first example, JD for HR officer. Manage talent acquisition process, including sourcing, testing, interviewing, hiring, and onboarding. So job description for HR officer, keep job description up to date, accurate, and compliant with relevant federal, state, and local law for all positions. But when we look on the JS, there are several requirements such as a bachelor degree or equivalent work experience in human resource, organizational development, and so forth. Okay. Okay, so this is just the example to give you further understanding how JD and job specification are different. So we move to the next slide. Here is about the process of job analysis. Okay, just now, job analysis is to gather as many information as we can in order to produce JD and JS. And the job data such as task, performance, standard, responsibility, and all information that are related in developing the JD and JS will put under the job data. And how this kind of data or information has been obtained, it is based from the sources of data, which will come from HR specialists, from the employer, who know about the job, or for the employee or workers that engage directly with that job. So we can get the data from these three sources of data. And how we are going to collect the data? Normally we have two methods, qualitative and quantitative. As we all know, interview, observation, record from HRIS can be categorized under qualitative type of data, and questionnaire can be categorized under the quantitative type of data. And this kind of process is very important because it is the basic for helping us in managing the HR function such as staffing, TND, performance appraisal, compensation, and so forth. Okay, now we are going to look on the step in job analysis. Okay, so you need to bear in mind what is job analysis is to produce job description and job specification. First and foremost, we need to select the job to study. Okay, after we select the job of study, we need to determine information to collect, such as, for example, we would like to hire a sales officer, okay, a sales officer. So we select the job, sales officer, and then we need to determine what tasks, duties, and responsibility that needed to be have by that sales officer, and also what kind of knowledge, skill, abilities that are required to perform post of sales officer. And after that, this kind of information can be gained from these three sources: HR specialist, employee who have engaged with that job of sales, and also the supervisor or managers of that employee. All right, and we have a method of data collection, such I stated just now. I also mentioned about this: interview, questionnaire, observation, and record. And after we got all of the data, we need to verify and validate the data with another HR specialist, employee, or supervisor to ensure that these are kind of JD and JS that we require before we finally can write the job analysis report. Okay, so I go to the next slide. This is regarding the determination of information to collect. By the time you are going to conduct or to do our job analysis, we need to bear in mind what kind of information that we need to collect. We know that we want the information regarding knowledge, skill, ability, JS, and also task, duties, and responsibility. So this kind of data, such as work activities, human behavior, material, tools and equipment, performance standard, job context, and human requirement can be gained and gathered before we can short all of the data and form into the JD and JS that we would like to document. All right. So I think I no need to go further in explaining each of the what are job activities and so forth. And I think it is very clear cut. So all of these are information that we need to collect in order to let us can develop a good JD and JS. Okay, now identifying sources of data. Just now also I have mentioned in the previous figure, who collect the job information. It normally have been done by HR specialist, the employee or the employee supervisor, or sometimes we appoint all of these people to do the job analysis. It based on the organization. Sometimes a big company, they will make a joint effort involving several persons to conduct a job analysis. But in a smaller organization, maybe they appointed only one officer or one PIC to collect the data regarding job analysis. And who are referred to the HR specialist? Okay, so HR specialist, perhaps the HR manager, job analysis, or job analyst or consultant. So they are the one that can give a clear view on what kind of JD and JS that is expected for one particular position. So after that, the supervisor and employee may fill out questionnaire listing the employee activity. They may then review and verify the job analyst conclusion as well before they can produce the final job analysis that is needed in the organization. For example, just now we would like to conduct a job analysis for sales officer, right? Okay, now this is the explanation for qualitative and quantitative data. So for qualitative method, we have three techniques that normally can be used. It involves with interviews, observation, and HRIS. And for the quantitative method, normally several of the scholars mentioned that we have PAQ, Position Analysis Questionnaire, and also FGA, or Functional Job Analysis. Okay, now we go further in detail on what quali and quantitative method means. So under qualitative method, our method one, it involves with interview. We can gain the information to develop our job analysis by using the interview method. Okay, under interview method, we also can have three types of interview to collect the data on job analysis. Number one, we can interview with each of the employee that involved with that data, with that job or work. And then we can conduct a group interview with group of employee who have the similar job. And also we can conduct interview session between supervisor interviews with one or more supervisors who know about the job. So here, I list a few typical interview questions. Okay, but before that, you need to bear in mind that the interview question here is only to gain data about job analysis. Okay, it's only to get data about what are information that is required to do the task, duty and responsibility, what are information that is required in order to develop or to know the skill, the knowledge and the abilities for one particular position. So good interviews follow a checklist format. Even though there are several kind of interview, but it is better if we can have a list of questions that make our interview can be more structured. All right. Here is the pro and cons of interview. For the pro of advantages, this kind of method are simple and quick way to collect information, so can uncover important activities that occur only occasionally or informal contact that would be obvious from the organizational chart, provide an opportunity to explain the need for and function of job analysis, and the employee can voice out frustration that may otherwise go unnoticed by management. So by the time we do this kind of interview, these are the advantages, because we can get the impromptu response from the person that we are collecting the data. Okay, but the disadvantages are the distortion of information caused by misunderstanding or falsification. Okay, maybe it is we have the different view and we misunderstand the information that is given by the employee. Job analysis is often a prelude to changing a job pay rate. Okay, employee may see the interview as an efficiency evaluation that may affect their pay. Sometimes when we conduct the interview to get the information about that job, the employee have the tendency to have the expectation that maybe if she or he claim that he involved with various kind of tasks, so the management will increase the payment. Or if she only mentioned that the list of tasks is quite simple or limit, then the employer or manager may reduce the salary to him. So sometimes this is kind of disadvantages that can be occurred if we use the qualitative method in terms of interview. Okay, and also employees may exaggerate certain responsibility while minimizing others. Okay, in order to show themselves in a positive way. The second one is observation. Okay, this kind of method normally suitable for observable physical activities such as assembly line workers. Okay, because not all position is suitable for us to use the observation method. And also, it is not appropriate when the job involves a lot of mental activities such as lawyer and engineer. It is more suitable for the routine daily work that we can observe easily without interview or asking directly to the employee. For example, the cycle for account clerk may be 1 month, as the tasks include closing account at the end of the month. So this kind of work maybe can be used by using this method. So these are the example of observation activities to collect the data. Okay, the third one under qualitative, we call it HRIS. Okay, most of the organization have utilized this system. They developed the system for human resource, meaning that all of the information about their employee have been keyed into this system. Okay, it is very detailed. It have all of the personal details for the info for their employees. So HRIS is a software. It's used for data entry, data tracking. And some of the organization, they already have information such as basic requirement or academic qualification of the employee with that particular position in the HRIS system. Therefore, HRIS system also can be one of the method where we can get the data in order to develop our job analysis. Okay, so HRIS is usually record the employee's information in the database electronically.
It's very easy.
Okay, okay. But you need to remember that sometimes the organization already have the established HRIS system. Okay, but if there are no person who take care of this system, maybe we have all of the indicator, but if the system is not utilized well, meaning that we are not enter the relevant data into HRIS system, it also cannot give us the complete data that we would like to search. Okay, now we go to the quantitative method, the second type on how we can gain information to conduct our job analysis. Okay, this is related to the developing a questionnaire, and it is also have the pros and cons if we use the quantitative method. For quantitative method, we only have questionnaire. Just now, for qualitative, we have observation, we have interview, and we have HRIS. So as for quantitative, the advantage is the quick way to obtain information from a large number of employees. It is cheaper than interviewing hundreds of workers, for instance, because we only use the questionnaire. But the disadvantages is developing the questionnaire and testing it can be expensive and time consuming. Under quantitative method, we have two types, okay, that normally used. The first one is PAQ, or we call it position analysis questionnaire. It contains 194 items. This is the standard one. So this is developed at Purdue University by McCormick. And under this kind of questionnaire, to get the data for conducting our own job analysis, it can be classified into 6 divisions as I listed here: information input, mental processes, until job-related variables. And for position analysis questionnaire, it identifies the requirement or recruitment and selection process. Okay, another technique under quantitative, we call it functional job analysis. Okay, this FJA help in collecting and recording job-related data to a deeper extent. Normally, FJA is the kind of method that we use to enhance the position. Okay, for example, this is within the organization. And just now, it is the first one, the first method when we would like to advertise the vacancy in our organization. So this is also have several dimension. Okay, as I listed here, what you need to bear in mind, there are also standard questionnaire that we have in order to gain information in developing our job analysis. For further understanding, you can also look at my link that I provide in these 2 slides. Okay, so I go to the next one. Okay, this is regarding the job description. Just now, job analysis is about just job description and job analysis specification. So now we look what element of a job description. In the previous slide, job description consists of task, duty, and responsibility. Okay, but if you look at these 3 terminology, it is quite similar. But based on one author, task is described action or set of action leading to a conclusion. Example would include taking out the trash or watering the lawn. Okay, this one we call it task. Or I also give the example in the green font and blue font. Okay, the task is for example, for student, the task is make sure the homework is to read a chapter a night. So this one later. Now we are going to look what are the differentiation between task, duty, and responsibility. Okay, task is about the job. For example, taking out the trash. Okay, but the duty is a task that is usually need to be done by someone as part of the job and to ensure the expected task can be completed. For example, father said to son, one of your duties is the task of taking out the trash every day. So the task is taking out trash. The duty is you need to taking out the trash every day. And responsibility is the moral accountability that goes with proper performance of one duties, or to taking the ownership of tasks to fulfill a requirement at whole. In the cases of trash case just now, the responsibility to ensure that the house is clean. Okay, so I give you one example here. In the case of a student, this could be the example. The teacher say, your homework is to read a chapter a night. You better take this duty seriously. Okay, the duty is you to read. Okay, because you are responsible for knowing the next 10 chapter before my next test. Okay. So I also try to give one example on the differentiation between task, duty and responsibility for the sales officer. Let's say the manager say your task is to get at least few numbers of consumer who agree and submit their loan to our bank. Okay, this is the task. And you are advised to take this duty seriously because you are responsible to fulfill the KPI of bank to gain at least 25% of the total sales of our product this month. So hopefully that this kind of explanation can give you further information about what is task, what is duty and responsibility. All right. So I go further to the next slide. Okay. These are the key elements of the job description. Okay. Now we are going to develop a job description. Typical headings include job title, job identification. Okay, job title just now I mentioned maybe sales officer. So include the location, grading, division or department. All right. So, and after that, in job description, we need to mention the job identification. For example, relationship between the job holder and others distinguishes job from all other jobs. So we also need to brief statement on the purpose of the job and the duties and essential function, education, work experience and physical requirement, and also term and condition of employment to be given to the job holder. So these are kind of element that we need to include in the job description. Okay, these are the explanation for what does it mean when we talk about job title, job identification, job duties, and so forth. So this is very important to write a clear and specific JD. And we are advised to use the simple worded, eliminate unnecessary word and phrases. Okay, because why? Because this is the basic document that we have in order to managing another HRM function. Okay, this is the sample of job description. It depends on several organizations, but these are the basic elements that need to be placed under each of job description. All right. So if you look at this only require the employee signature. But in my Universiti Malaysia Perlis, in our job description, we need to put our sign as the employee, and at the same time also we need to get the signature from our supervisor or direct supervisor that in charge in monitoring our performance. So like in UniMAP, our JD have the stages where both employee and employer or representative of the organization to put their sign here means the agreement that these are the tasks that you need to fulfill, and both of us agree with that task, and we put down our sign and put the date. All right. So now we go into the job specification. Just now we talk about JD. Now we move to the JS or job specification. So job specification, it entails knowledge, skills and abilities. Knowledge is referred to the experience or personal qualification an individual must possess in order to perform the duties and responsibilities. Skill is the skill required to perform the job. Education or experience, specialized training, personal trait, interpersonal skills, specific behavior attributes or abilities, the physical demand of the job, walking, standing, talking, reaching, and so forth. All right, because several skills are related to several kind of position. For example, if you look for marketing officer or sales officer, they need to have several skills such as communication skill is very important for sales officer. But if you look for accounting officer, maybe the communication skill is not so important, such as how marketing officer need other communication skill, because for marketing they need to persuade people, right, to sell their product. But as for the account officer, they still need the communication, but it is not so critical as how the sales or marketing officer need that kind of skill. So this is why knowledge, skill and abilities need to be developed according to the specific position or job in the organization. Okay, here is the problem with job specification. If poorly written, they provide little guidance to the job holder. They are not always updated as job duties and specification change. They may violate the law by containing the specification not related to the job success, and they can limit the scope of activities of the job holder, reducing the organizational flexibility. This one may be someone they have the extra skill that is not necessary to that particular position. So it can be quite limit their opportunities to be excel with the extra skill that they have. Okay. So after job analysis, we have job design. Okay, job design is the enhancement of job analysis to improve the job in order to strengthen organization efficiency in the part of organization and the employee job satisfaction in the part of the employees. So once job analysis is completed, it is followed by job design. And job design can be categorized into two, job enlargement and job enrichment. Okay, later we are going to look what is job enlargement and what is job enrichment. Both of these are under the job design. Okay, for job enlargement, it means to increase the task of an employee performed by him in a single job. So I also provide the graphical representation of job enlargement here. For example, employee 1, employee 2, they involved with the drill-hole assemble part test. So job enlargement happen when all of these tasks is only fulfilled by one particular employee. Okay, for another example, let me give you another example. Let's say one of the employee, she responsible to keep on record regarding the training which has been done by several employees. So maybe at one time, she only engaged with the record from one department. But when we do the job enlargement, we give another task that also relate to the collecting information on job on training record, but involved with another department. So maybe 2 or 3 departments have been in charge by him alone. Okay, this one we call it job enlargement. Okay, but for job enrichment, okay, this is the explanation. Okay, I just try to explain by using my own word. So this is next followed by job enrichment. Just now job enlargement, we giving the similar task, but we widen the scope of the job. And as for job enrichment, it's a job design strategy applied to motivate the employees by delegating them extra responsibility to make it more rewarding. For example, I would like to give my own example. Okay, just now, that employee need to record the training which has been done by several employees in several departments. Now we would like to enrich the job. Maybe right after she has the information regarding the training for all staff, we ask her to identify what kind of training that are needed by employee in each of the department. So in order to only collecting the record or data regarding employees training in one particular year, at the same time we ask her based on the data that he has to propose what kind of training that are needed to be given to any type of employee based on the record to make the skill can be strengthened. Okay, this is the enrichment, meaning that for the job enrichment means to upgrade the quality of the job and make it more exciting, challenging, and creative. Okay, sometimes when we do this enlargement and enrichment, sometimes the employee may have the tendency to ask for more pay because they have been given more tasks and responsibility to be engaged with. All right. So this is again regarding job enrichment. I think now is quite better for me. Oh, now it's already about 3:25. And I have quite limited time. So I try to make it very fast and precise. So now we move to the HR planning. Okay, after we have the job description and job specification, it can be the basis for us to do the HR planning. Okay, HR planning is the primary function of management, all right? So it is a process selecting the organizational objective and taking action to achieve those objectives. HRP must be realistic and workable. So when we talk about HR planning, we need to determine the staffing point to make sure that we have the sufficient employee in the organization. So it is something that relate to the matching the internal and external supply of people. And also we try to avoiding manpower shortages or surpluses. Okay, I also have a video here, but I'm not going to share the video with you. Maybe you can look on the video later. So now this is regarding HR planning process. Okay, again, if you look at this graph, HRP is about the forecasting HR requirement and forecasting the HR availability. If we found that demand is equal to the supply, so there are no action to be taken. But if we are facing with the surplus of worker or we have more workers at the same time, we need to apply some of the techniques such as restricted hiring, reduced hours. We got to do the early retirement, layoff or downsizing. But if we are focused, we are facing with the shortage of workers, we can do the recruitment and selection that will be explained later in the next slide. So this is what HRP is all about. We need to ensure that we have the sufficient employee to engage with the task, duties and responsibilities in one particular position in our organization. Okay, so the next one, this is the explanation regarding forecasting HR requirement and availability. Okay, for forecasting HR requirement, it involves with the number and type of employee needed. So we are required how many? Okay, how many employee that we required, and forecast HR availability when we need to look on both internal sources or external sources. Where can we get the employer to, and where can we get the employee to fill on the vacancy? All right. So the next one is regarding the internal and external forecasting. For example, for internal forecasting in HR, can the work be organized? Sometimes we don't want to appoint any outsider or new employees to come and join our organization, maybe because of our budget and so forth. So before that, we need to think whether the work can be reorganized or whether the work can be carried out by the existing employee, or can the work be automated or can be done by buying any machine that can settle that job, or can the work can be carried out by existing employee working overtime. So these are kind of internal forecasting, and at the same time we are also can think about the external forecasting. This is only to make sure that the demand and supply are equal in our organization. Okay, I go further. This is the kind of short-term and long-term workforce concern. All right. For example, for short term, we can replacing personnel known to be retiring. We can fill in vacancies due to turnover. But in the long term, we also need to have a well-planned HR in order such as succession planning for key management position, develop employee skill sets to launch a new product. For this example, let's say we would like to launch any new product. So we need to think what kind of skill that needed by our employee to cater or to engage in product in producing that product. Okay, so this is in the long-term workforce concern. This is categorized under the HR planning. The next one, surplus and shortage just now. Surplus is happen when we have more employee in our organization. So these are the type of technique that we can do. If we are facing with surplus, we can do the restricted hiring. We can reduce the hours of working for the employee. We can implement the early retirement, or at the same time, we also can do the layoff or permanent discharge the worker. But if we are facing with the shortage of employee, we can creative recruiting. Okay, be creative in recruit employment. And we can offer the compensative incentive. The premium pay is one method if we would like to take the employees very immediately. So we can also have the training program. For example, we take the employee when we conduct the program in our organization, and also different selection standard. Sometimes we alter or lowering the current criteria standard. For example, if at the moment we have 20 tasks to be listed in that position, so we reduce and make it 18 tasks only. This is only available or need to be done if we having with the shortage of employee. All right. So I go to the HR recruitment. Okay. Okay, we have about half an hour, right? So we go to the third subsection, the HR recruitment. Okay, HR recruitment is the process of identifying suitable or prospective employee to apply for the job vacancy. Okay, recruitment refers to the overall process of identifying, attracting, screening, shortlisting, and interviewing suitable candidates for job within an organization. Actually, recruitment is differ with selection. In the recruitment process, we only would like to gain the suitable candidates. Therefore, we can easily select the candidate to be appointed in the organization later. But before we select, we need to have a pool of the established candidates that are fulfill our JD and JS that we developed before. Okay, I also not going to play this video, or we have time, can we play this video?
Not sure.
Not sure. So I think this video we can have a look later. Okay, later. So I'll continue with the next slide. All right. This is the potential cost of a bad recruitment decision. So the recruitment need to be done very carefully, because if we make mistake in doing our recruitment, cause of mistake, accident, and loss of customer caused by employee who cannot cope with the job. If our recruitment or pool of data regarding the suitable candidates that we would like to appoint in the selection process is not tally with the kind of job analysis that we developed before, so it will create the additional cost for us, because we need to find the new recruitment. So it also cause of lower morale among the employee, supervisor, and his or co-workers who have to rework his mistake or take over his task. So cost of defending a claim of dismissal without just cause of excuse once the employee has been dismissed. Sometimes if we hire the
Hello, Dr. Ummi. Is it our connection or Dr. Ummi's who is dropping?
I think it's Dr. Ummi.
Dr. Ummi, yeah. Dr. Ummi? Yeah, let's take a moment. Maybe she needs some time to get herself back. While waiting, please, anyone, you can drop your question in the chat room. Oh, she's thrown out of the Zoom, apparently. Yeah, for ITS student, please prepare the questions. You can drop your question in the chat room. I can get back to them later. Especially, I believe you are now starting to do your field work, I guess, like trying to contact companies for for doing your field studies. So maybe you can reveal what kind of obstacle or challenges that you have been facing so far. For example, regarding job analysis, yeah, maybe you have trouble in finding respondents or access to existing job description or other documents. You can be freely revealing them in this session because it's going to be interesting topics for today's discussion. Okay. Yeah, it's been quite, yeah, Dr. Ummi need a moment to get back to us. Apparently she has trouble in her connection. So yeah, while waiting for her, I'd like to review a little bit about today's lectures. It's actually a bit quite big topics, as Dr. Ummi have mentioned. It should have been discussing in 3 sessions, 3 weeks or even more, but she tried to put everything together to make it a compact one so that you can get like a big picture out of job analysis, human resource planning, and recruitment. Because as a matter of fact, those 3 subtopics in human resource management is actually really closely connected to each other. Okay, yeah, we get 1 question already. Good job, Rofur Rahim. Keep going, anyone, for a question so that we can make today's lecture more interactive and more communicative. Yeah. I see Dr. Ummi is back. Let's see what happened to her.
I'm so sorry. I also don't know what happened. So quite panic just now. Lucky I'm online. I'm back again.
Good to have you back.
Okay, so
have you solved your connection?
I think my connection is not stable as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, how can we manage this?
Oh yeah, guys, so help to set Dr. Ummi back as a co-host, please, so that she could share her screen.
Yes, it's done, Dr. Ummi.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dewi. Yeah, it happened a lot with us too, especially nowadays with virtual learning. Everyone use internet. So I saw some of Belgian names here. I'd like to say hello to my student from Belgium. So Dr. Ummi, for your information, we have 3 classes of human resource management in ITS, 2 classes with bilingual, and 1 class is fully English speaking class, because we have about 12 students from FIFES University Applied Science, one of our partners in Europe, who are joining with us this semester. Hello, guys. Our colleague from FIFES University, can you say hi while waiting for Dr. Ummi? Hello, Anaisa. Okay, hello, Anaisa. Okay. You can say hello directly, I guess. I haven't properly greet you guys. Perfect. So Anaisa, Juliet, Foysin, Pauline, Julia, Cynthiana, Louise, Rule, Queen. Oh, forgive me if I pronounce it incorrectly, Ana Lorda. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this afternoon. It's still morning in Belgium. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, voicing. Yeah, as I mentioned, the lecture is about job analysis, human resource planning, and recruitment, and the integration of all of them. Yeah, 8 a.m. in Belgium. Yeah, good. So I guess you guys just woke up then, or even still in bed while attending the online lecture. Dr. Ummi, are you ready? Oh, yes.
Okay, I guess so.
Okay, back to you then, Doctor.
Okay, I'm so sorry because I'm losing in the radar. Okay, now let me continue. Oh, okay, I found that we have about 219 participants here. So thank you for joining our lecture series today. I'm sorry again. So now let me continue with the HR recruitment. Okay, just now we share about the importance of conducting research analysis in order to make us can provide a good planning in determining the supply and demand of our HR of employee in the organization. And then now we go to the HR recruitment. Okay, in HR recruitment, just now we have discussed about the potential cause of a bad recruitment decision. Now we move to the factor affecting recruitment decision. Okay, the recruitment is the location of the organization. Some people, they have the tendency to only work in the organization that are clear or near to their hometown. Some people are not willing to go far away from their hometown. So this is one of the factor that can affect our recruitment decision. Okay, and also the public image of the organization. Sometimes when the organization have a good image or brand, the recruitment also will give some sort of success, is more successful. All right, so another one, the physical working condition in the organization. Sometimes people or employee would love to be recruited or to be engaged and positioned in a good working condition. It depends on the employee, and the relationship between people in the organization also is one of the factor that can affect the recruitment decision. And also the remuneration package or the compensation and benefit that have been offered by the organization can be one of the factor in affecting recruitment decision. And the last one, the internal policies of the organization, including fair disciplinary practices and whether training opportunities are made available to employees, also can be one of the factor in affecting recruitment decision. So we go to the next slide. Normally, we have two types of recruitment in the organization. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. The first one is internal recruitment, where we try to recruit the employee within the organization. So it can be realized by using these two techniques. The first one, employee audit inventory. So this can be happen when we can get the data regarding the suitable employee to be appointed to the new vacant in our organization. We can look on the data based on the HRIS system, okay, to determine who are the suitable person to be recruited within the organization. This one is one of the technique under internal recruitment. Another one is the job posting and bidding. So notice on the organizational board. So this one we try to advertise within the organization that we have one new vacant among the employee in the organization. So these are two types of internal recruitment. And for the external recruitment, we normally engage the outsider or the person outside of the organization to be recruited under our shortlisted or candidates in the recruitment. So it can involve with the employment agencies and consultant. Sometimes it also can be done by the campus recruitment. Normally, in university or campus, the third year or the final year student, they will have one of the session where the information of the student can be gathered in a pool of data, and we give this information to the industry that would like to find the suitable candidates to fill in the vacancy in their organization. So another one, we also can use the employee referral. Okay, we have our employee in our organization, so sometimes she or he also have the good network with the outsiders that are suitable for the vacant that are available in our organization. So we can use the employee referral, and at the same time we also can advertise regarding the vacancy by using the mass media. It included in the radio, now internet, we can advertise all about the vacancy as the external type of recruitment. Okay, the next one, these are kind of example of advertisement. Okay, I only to share with you, this is the example. For example, this is in Malaysia. Okay, for this one, vacancies in Sheraton Imperial KL Hotel. Okay, another one, vacancy regarding the anggota keselamatan. Okay, kemasukan segera. This is a sample of advertisement that can be developed or post by the HR manager and also the training general manager. This is only the example for the advertisement. So the next one, we go to the advantages and disadvantages for the internal and external recruitment. Again, internal is to recruit the employee or candidates within an organization, whereas the external recruitment is involved with the recruitment from outside of the organization. The first advantage for internal recruitment, the employment record the applicant available because all of the data is in the is available in the HR department, so no induction needed. As we know, after we hire the employee, we need to conduct the induction course to make them familiarize with the objective, overall KPI of the organization. But when we recruit the internal recruitment, the process of induction is not needed to be conducted. So it little or no cost involved because we are not going to advertise to the external recruitment, where sometimes we also appoint one agency to help us to doing the recruitment, and employees' morale and motivation may be increased because we are trying to get the post for the current employee in the organization. But the disadvantages for the internal recruitment are filling a vacancy in one department may lead to a more serious gap in another. So no suitable candidate may be available. All right, that's why we need to go for the external recruitment, and supervisor may be reluctant to release new employee. Sometimes the in charge or the head of department in one division would not let the employee that under supervision to go to another department. So this is the advantages and disadvantages for internal recruitment. So the next one is external recruitment. The advantages is to avoid inbreeding. So we don't want all of the families are working in the same company, right? So external recruitment also possible to widen choice of applicant by having a pool of candidates. Meanwhile, the disadvantages, high cost of recruitment process because it involved with the with the advertisement. And as I know, in Malaysia, if we would like to advertise any vacancy in the newspaper, in our newspaper, it depends on how large the advertisement will take place, and sometimes it can reach about 25 to 30k in ringgit Malaysia. So the high cost for advertising the position in using the newspaper. But nowadays, since we already have a good internet, sometimes LinkedIn, sometimes we have Facebook, Twitter, and as well, most of the company also sometimes they use this kind of media to advertise their vacancies in the organization. Sometimes they also can use the email as well. All right, so now we go to the next slide. This is the new subtopic regarding the HR selection. Just now we finished about HR recruitment. Now HR selection. Okay, so selection is different with recruitment. Okay, it differ with the basic of two things. If recruitment, it is associated with the identification of prospective or suitable employees for a job, while selection is the process of hiring an employee out of the prospective employee for a job. So now we are going to select who are the most suitable employee based on our pool of recruitment information to be hired or to be appointed in the organization. So usually managers and supervisor will be ultimately responsible for the hiring of individual, but the role of HRM is to define and guide managers in this process. So if you look at this definition, which I got from one author, the selection process can be defined to the step involved in choosing people who have the right qualification to fill a current or future job opening. So the purpose of HR is to get the best candidate to fulfill the job vacancy. And if individuals are overqualified or underqualified or do not fit the job requirement of the organization culture, the effect is the employee will be ineffective in their work and probably leave the firm voluntarily or otherwise. For example, if we select the candidates that are overqualified, they may be feel less motivation when facing or fulfilling the position. Therefore, he maybe have the intention to leave the organization and get another post outside of the organization. But if we select the underqualified person to fill of the vacant post, it may be reflect on our organization because we have the applicant that not fulfill the standard or minimum requirement in the job analysis. So we go to the next slide. This is regarding the selection process. This one also, according to several authors, there are several kind of process. So I picked this as for one of our example for today's session. If you look at this process, we have eight stages. So it starts with preliminary interview, and after that, we receive the application. Okay, and then screening of application. Okay, we receive application normally based on the application form and also their CV or resume. And then we screen of the application. This is on the basic screening, okay, for the candidates that may be suitable before we conduct the employment test. And after that, we conduct the employment interview. And after we interview and have the suitable candidates to be appointed in our organization, we do the checking references. And after that, we will ask the candidates to go for the physical examination before we can do the final selection. Actually, these are different based on the organization. Sometimes the organization would like to do the physical examination first before they do the cross-checking, okay, the checking reference. It is depend, all right? So here, I give the explanation for the all 8 stages, which I am not going to go one by one, all right? So this is the process, number 1 until number 4. This is number 5 until number 8. This is the process just now that I mentioned. All right, and this is the information sources of applicant. We can get the information from the application form, from the curriculum vitae or resume, from the reference check, okay. Sometimes nowadays, employers also or manager, they try to investigate the background of the employees, okay, for the applicants through their FB account, because sometimes it will give more information also to the organization. And sometimes we also have the biographical information blank as one of the sources of applicant, honesty and integrity test, graphology, medical checkup, and drug test. And here I give all of the explanation regarding the information sources of application. Okay, what is application form? So what can be gained from the curriculum vitae and reference check. Okay, I think we don't have much time. That's why I also give you the brief summarization on the information sources of applicant. So next is the biographical information blank. And we also have the polygraph test. Okay, polygraph test is an equipment to detect lies. Some of the organization also have the honesty and integrity test. Okay, and also graphology test based on the handwriting, and medical checkup, health examination, and drug test. Okay, these are all the explanation regarding the information sources of applicant that available in doing the HR selection. So the next one is regarding the selection or employment test. Okay, we have 6 kind of selection tests here. It included of performance test, aptitude test, job knowledge test, work sample test, personality test, and physical ability test. I also give you all of the explanation for each of the tests in the later slide. For example, this is the performance test such as driving test, keyboarding test, language test, and so forth. And as for the aptitude test, it measures an individual capacity and ability in learning and mastering new skill. In Malaysia, normally, in order to join the government servant, we will be given will need to sit for the aptitude test. Okay, these are the kind of aptitude test. And also the job knowledge test, right? This is the sample job knowledge to test and measure an individual knowledge and understanding of a job. For example, if you would like to appoint the programmer, then we will give one of the tests to look on what is the level of knowledge of he or her in doing the programming. Okay, and this is the work sample test. All right, maybe reading the map or traffic officer dates. And the last one, personality test. Okay, also can be done in doing the HR selection. And this is the physical ability test. This is very important for the jobs such as risky jobs such as fireman and lorry driver. And here are, I think the last slide for me, issue relating to HR recruitment and selection. Okay, for example, nepotism, the hiring of family members or close friends to fill vacancies in the organization is a norm for small families. And is nepotism to be encouraged or discouraged? It depends on the organization. So issues are also relating to the employment of children because we have several acts to be fulfilled. Maybe in Malaysia, we cannot appoint any children in the age of 18 years old and below. Okay, and hiring all the workers. Okay, at what age that we still need to hire them. So these are kind of issues that relate to HR recruitment and selection. Hiring all the workers, for example, can be related to the academician. Okay, even though their age reached at 60 or 65 years old, but the expertise, we still need their expertise to help us in the university. And also the employment of foreigners. Okay, so what problem are faced by employers when they hire foreign workers? I think this is all only regarding the brief information based on the lecture outline that I give just now. I think time also is not enough for us to make me further continue, and that's why I only try to summarize and give only a brief information on job analysis, job design, HR planning, HR recruitment, and HR selection in this sharing session knowledge. I think that's all, and I also not going to play the video that I found here. And this is my slide. Okay, that's all I would like to say. Thank you, and I send back to Prof. Eva.
Thank you, Dr. Ummi, for the insightful lecture. Very interesting, especially the human resource selection part, because Dr. Ummi just revealed a secret that the student will encounter when they come into job marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dr. Ummi, we can keep going until midnight or even tomorrow. As you mentioned, it's actually a very broad topic that
Yeah.
should have been divided into some weeks, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have gotten some questions, and guys, I'd like you to raise your question yourself so that you can talk directly to Dr. Ummi. But before that, Dr. Ummi, I'd like to inform you that this lecture is not only attended by ITS students, but also some of our local partners from UNESA, from UPN. If there are lecturers from our local partner, please raise your hand and then you can say hello to Dr. Ummi. Maybe you want to follow ITS path to partner with UniMAP, maybe. Also from Jambi University, it's quite far away, maybe like 2 hours by flight from here, as far as it is to Kuala Lumpur, I guess. Yeah, also about 12 students, international students from Belgium, from VIVAS University, Belgium, that are attending your lecture from their bed, because today is still early morning in Europe, and now that autumn is creeping in and the day gets shorter with raining outside, maybe freezing. Yeah, I'm kidding about the autumn, but not the bed. Okay, yeah, guys, now it's your turn to for questions. Who wants to go first? Maybe Rofu Rohim, are you there? Would you like to raise your question directly to Dr. Ummi? Yeah, Rofur, can you switch on your camera and... Hello, yeah, can you speak louder, please?
Okay. Thank you for the... Okay. Sorry. My mic may be error.
Error in your network?
Okay, my name is Muhammad Rauf Rahim. I'm from ITS. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask about human resource planning. Maybe on some case, if I want to make a training on SMA, is it a better if we use training that focusing on one of division of the SMA or the all employees?
That's all?
Yeah, that's all maybe.
Okay, so is it better to create a training program focused on particular employee or to general employee? That's what you mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which one is preferable? Dr. Ummi, would you like to take that now?
Okay, as for me, it may better if you go to the specific HR planning. Okay, instead of go to the overall may be good, but we need to involve every layer of the person that know information, in full information regarding the HRP, because in organization, we are not only have one position, right? We have a pool of position, maybe based on the layer, the stages. It depends on how big the organization is. But if you would like to do the HRP by focusing on the broad information, that's why therefore you need to form the committee that relevant to provide the information that's suitable with the position. But as for me, if you start with a small organization, maybe you need to go in very specific one by one of the HR planning based on the vacant that need to be fulfilled in that organization. So it depends on the organization, how big and how many budget that you have before you conduct the HR planning. Am I answer your question?
Okay.
Ms. Rafur?
Yes.
Mr. Rafur Rahim, okay?
Yeah, he said yes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ummi. And we move to second question, Mutiara. Are you there?
Yes, but sorry because my unstable bandwidth, I couldn't turn on my camera. Is it okay?
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
Go on with your question, please.
Hello, Dr. Ummi. My name is Mutiara from ITS, and my question is, how can we measure if the recruitment process is right on the target? Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Mutiara, what is your question just now?
Okay. How can we measure if the recruitment process is right on the target?
Okay, maybe it's like measuring the effectiveness of recruitment process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or how to measure the effectiveness of the recruitment process. All right. We can measure by the time we enter the selection process. Okay, the selection process maybe as for the recruitment, we only have the information that we have a pool of data regarding who is the suitable employees to be appointed or to be selected as our hire as our employee. But normally it is hard for us to make sure that the recruitment is being done in the maximum effort, all right, or the maximum what we call it is good or bad, as long as we only can try to make sure that we have provide everything. But it can be measured by the process that we select the employee, and based on that we can look on the performance of employee. Normally for the recruitment, we only can try our best to ensure that we have a pool of data regarding the established employee or the most suitable employee to be appointed or to be selected to as our staff. But on how it can ensure that we already recruit the best one, it can be a look after we appoint that person. If he can perform very well, it meet our expectation as our JA, JD and JS, then it means that the recruitment process is success. Okay, I think this is the best way to answer your question, because if we only have a recruitment, we cannot go to nowhere. We only stated or claim that we have do the good recruitment process, but by the time it only can be evidenced by the time we select that particular employee into our organization. It is okay with you, Mbak Mutiara, Miss Mutiara?
Yes, thank you for answering, Dr. Ummi.
Yeah, thank you.
Any extra additional, Prof. Eva?
Yes.
Do you have any other additional information? The best way to ensure that recruitment process is at the maximum?
Oh, you have addressed it perfectly.
Thank you.
I couldn't go any better. Okay, shall we move on to other question? We have Andi and Isrodin. Yeah, Isrodin, you are in the next line. I want to go to Andi first. Andi Rizky, are you there? Hello, Andi. Or Andi? Are you with me? Or maybe Isrodin. He is very far from Jambi. Wow. Okay, so what is Rogdin like to ask is strategic human resource management for 2020 and 2021. Yeah, especially given the condition of pandemics. Do you have any idea how it's gonna look like? It's pretty tough one, huh? Oh.
Okay, if people
Yeah.
ask me, this is how the way I'm going to respond. Okay, this is based
Okay.
on my personal assumption. Also, only for personal assumption because I am only learn in the theoretical part. I am not engaging directly in the HR division. Even in UniMAP, I also know about the theoretical one. As for me, if people ask how are we going to deal with this pandemic COVID-19, especially in the HR planning for sure, we need to be very careful in determining the KPI of our KPI or objective of our organization because we are now all of us suffer due to this pandemic. But we still need to go on life. We still need to go on. Therefore, we need to develop the realistic KPI. Okay, we still need to move forward. And it is the same thing need to be do regarding our HR planning. We still need to do the demand and supply forecast. We still need to have the information regarding forecast of the availability and requirement based on the business that we are operate in our organization. We cannot say that HR planning is not suitable or not to be done in here because we don't think that we are going to end our world because of this pandemic. So the HR planning need to be do as we plan, but based on the information that need to be surveyed, the relevant one, and the KPI need to be realistic. Okay, we cannot be too ambitious, even though most of the organization still have the ambitious objective to be fulfilled even in this pandemic COVID. But at the same time, all of the HR function need to be well blend. It need to be managed interactively in order to perform the organization at the maximum success. I think that all. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
agree with me, Pro Eva? Can you
Yeah.
can you help me to respond to this question?
Yeah, actually, I'm wearing the same shoes, you know, from the academic point of view. I haven't spoken with my HR professional colleague just yet, to be honest. Yeah, what I like to see for my own observation is like anything coming to remote work that should be adjusted to, but you mentioned it already, and probably next year, I don't know, it's probably still keep going like this. I'm not sure if we can go back to campus even next semester. Maybe the virtual learning keep we need to keep on that. And for the next years and on, maybe HR need to be more agile. Yeah, as you said, everything need to be blend and flexibly designed and flexibly applied, especially regarding all the rules, the performance appraisals, and the compensations things. Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough question. Okay, let's go on with Andi Rizky. Are you here already? She's asking. Okay, Andi is having trouble with her microphone or him. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. So the question is, Dr. Ummi. Oh, hold on a second. I lost the questions. Oh yeah, Dr. Ummi, may I ask the question, is internship part of human resource recruitment process or not? Yeah.
Okay, internship. Okay, actually, if you look on the HR function that I mentioned just now, it is not mentioned anywhere that internship is a part of HRM function. But based on several organizations, normally the established organization, the big company, they also have the internship program in their organization. And this kind of big company, for example, in Malaysia, they will have a good MOA with university. That's why they try to gain information and approach with the university that are going to produce a good graduates in that particular organization. For example, I am in Universiti Malaysia Perlis. Even though I am from the business management faculty, but most of the faculty here are focused on the engineering. So engineering such as electrical engineering, microelectronic engineering, and some of the company of industry, they have some kind of requirement to fulfill the work of vacant in their organization. And sometimes they have the MOA with the university, what kind of graduates, what kind of skill they are intend to be fulfill the requirement in their industry. And in this case, actually, they internship in their organization. But if you look in the overall function of HR management that I read from most of the book, internship program is not stated as one of the function under HRM. But some of the organization do have this kind of program. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay with my explanation?
Yeah, I think he will be okay with that, but that's definitely true. So I don't know if it's not formally in human resource planning though, because yeah, as you said, many big companies indeed do that. Like I was a product of internship myself in Toyota.
Okay.
Yeah, and after that, after finishing my internship, I went back to university and I finished my bachelor. And then shortly after graduation, I was hired back to Toyota, and I didn't have to go through the selection from the very beginning. So I was just, I just needed to continue where I left off. So for example, like in my case, as you said, there are a lot of like written tests in the beginning, including psycho tests, and then interview with the HR professional or a psychologist. And then that's where the interns, that's the selection stop for internship. But then when we are declared as what we passed successfully the internship, and the company offered us a permanent job, we don't have to go back to the written process, just continue to like interview with the user, something like that. So yeah, for big companies, they who likes to recruit a fresh graduate, internship is a kind of a door, yeah, to attract young and talented students before they are attracted to other company, because company now is like in a competition too to recruit the best talents. That's why like ITS, like your university too, we are having a lot of MOU with a lot of companies.
Industry, yeah.
Yeah, true. And then they come every semester to recruit in terms of internship or a fresh graduate. Yeah. So it's a good opportunity for students too. Yeah. Any other question? I don't have any other question on the list, but actually we are kind of running out of time. So Dr. Ummi, do you have a closing word for today's lecture?
As my closing word, I just would
today
like
only.
For today, I just would like to thank all of you to joining me, and thanks again to Prof. Eva and all of the top management from ITS, and also top management in UniMAP who allowing me to join this session. And of course, my sincere thanks go to all of the participants that have spend your valued time to attend this sharing session knowledge. Okay, and if you have any further question, or you would like to share any other notes on HRM, you are able to contact me. I give my information, and also I would like to invite any student or lecturer from UNISA, or where I just know UNISA just now, or maybe for us to collaborate in doing research in HRM domain. So that's all. I think I would like to say sorry for the technical problem just now. I'm so sorry, and stay safe and stay healthy and stay positive to all and one of you. That's all.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ummi, for our distinguished speaker today. I'd like to thank you as well to our partners, Indonesian and international partners, and their students for attending the lecture. Thank you all for participating, and don't miss our next international guest lecture that will be on Monday. Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Miss Master of Ceremony, Susan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for Eva and Ms. Ummi. And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached to the end of this event. If you have any more further question, you could email us to the mbisnis@its.ac.id. And we would like to express our great appreciation to our guest speaker today, Dr. Ummi Naiemah Saraih, who already shared her amazing knowledge with us. We also would like to thank all the participants today. We hope everyone had an insightful and impactful productive meeting. On behalf of this organizing committee, as the MC, I would like to apologize if there are any inconveniences happen during this event. And we would like to invite all of you to the virtual group photo, so please kindly share your best smile and turn on your camera. Okay, I will start counting.
Kenapa?
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, thank you. And that's all from me. Have a good day for everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima
Thank you,
kasih.
Dr. Ummi.
Eva,
Thank you, everyone.
Umi,
Thank you,
terima
Dr.
kasih
Ummi.
semuanya.
Okay, terima
Terima kasih
kasih Pro
mahasiswa
Iwa
sudah
and all of the student participants
berpartisipasi.
today.
Terima
See you
kasih.
again.
See you again soon.
Thank you, Dr. Ummi. Bu
Thank you.
Eva, terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima
Thank
kasih Bu
you.
Eva. Thank you, Dr. Umi.
Okay, bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.